Man, don't mind the messy hair. I did have a hat on, but it is damn near 100 degrees here in Los Angeles, where I'm based out of, and my head was getting way too sweaty and uncomfortable. So, welcome back to Zuko Builds. I'm always asking you guys what kind of content you want to see, and tell me down in the comments, and a few times I've gotten tool reviews. So since I don't have any cool orders coming up, these are just kind of small orders that I'm dealing with right now, I figured this would be the perfect time to do it. I'm just gonna go over a few things that I have here in my shop and that I've been using for, I'd say all for about 2 years, except for one of them. So hopefully this helps you if you're in the market to buy one of these tools, or if you're looking to get a new one, or maybe thinking about getting the ones that I have. Maybe this video will help. So let's get right into it. I think a good place to start is here at my miter saw, where I do most of my rough cutting, at least for the length. I have a Dewalt 12-inch compound sliding miter saw, and I love it for the most part. There's some things that I really don't like about it, but we'll start with the pros. This fence I've set up once, and it's stayed absolutely square for the 2, maybe 3 years that I've had this. It cuts everything completely smooth, completely clean, and I don't even use a really high quality blade. These are cheap Avantis that I got from my local big box store. I think I got a pack of 2 for like 40 bucks. But with the new blade, this thing cuts through walnut, white oak, even 4x4 lumber if I'm ever doing like a quick scrap project. Cuts through it like butter, and everything is absolutely square. I did upgrade my throat plate here, my insert plate, to a walnut plate. The one that came with it was really cheap and flimsy, as I'm sure most other miter saws are. Let's see, another pro. The miters are absolutely accurate. On the right side, you can go all the way to 60, and on the left side, you can go all the way to 50. And I never use my bevel feature, but it does go 45 on one side, and you can go 45 on the other actually too. So it's great. It's big and heavy, so I know that once it's there, it's not really gonna move anywhere. I'm not sure if that's ever a problem, but it is a great saw. So let's talk about some cons in my eye. I'm sure, as most other miter saws are, the dust collection here is absolutely trash. Still haven't figured out a good way to collect the dust. I'm still thinking about something to build right here at the back of the blade to collect it. Another thing is, I don't like that it slides backwards. So you can see the slide rails or the guide rails here actually go towards the rear about a foot out. I would have liked to have this whole setup up against the wall, and I feel like that would just make a little more space in my small garage. I know a few other brands like Bosch, I think even Metabo, has a miter saw where it starts here and slides forward instead of having it slide all the way back. So if space is an issue for your shop, I might go with another brand. They're a little pricier, but if you want to push it up against the wall, you're not going to be able to do it with this. Other than that, I mean, I don't really have too many bad things to say about it. I have had it for almost 3 years, and it gets the job done. So, super powerful. Like I said, it cuts through everything like butter. Next up is my favorite tool in the shop is my table saw. This is a Ridgid 12-inch, or actually 10-inch table saw. There's not many bad things that I have to say about this. I do love how the table extends all the way out to 30 inches, so I can cut pretty big, rip cuts, even cross cut, if I had to. I don't really take it this far. I'll usually chop bigger material with my circular saw and a straight edge, but every now and again, I'll have to rip something that's about 28 inches or somewhere around there, and it's nice that I can just slide the table out and do that. One thing that I don't like is how finicky it is to get it to the angle you want. It's not really a good system. You have to twist this little knob here, and it's kind of hard. And no matter how much I play with it, I can't get it to sit at 90 when it's at 0 and 45 at 45. I've been messing with it for a while now and I just can't do it, so instead I just use a digital angle gauge and just use that every time I have to make an adjustment. I've only set this thing up once or twice. I check it periodically, but everything has stayed absolutely square to the blade, to the miter slots, to the fence. So setup alone is really easy. I think I only did it once or twice and it hasn't moved out of square yet. It does cut pretty easily, even through harder hardwoods, for a job site table saw, which I'm really happy about. I don't have to buy a huge contractor saw to cut through a 8-quarter walnut or even white oak or anything like that. Cuts through everything super easily. The fence, it's nice and smooth. I mean, I have really no complaints about it. Sometimes it comes out of the track, but it's easy to just pop it on and you can see it just glides effortlessly. What else? So let's talk components that it came with. The miter gauge that it came with it feels really solid. And I haven't used this much because I do have a crosscut sled, but I have used this a few times and it's pretty decent for what it is, coming stock with it, I guess free if you want to call it. So it's pretty decent. I recommend using a crosscut sled or investing in a higher quality miter gauge. Push stick, I hate these things. They're all the same. Don't use them. I feel like these are more dangerous. Forget about it. It does come with blade guards and everything, but I don't like using my blade guards. If you're a beginner, please use them until you feel comfortable using your saw. I just like seeing what my wood is doing, and I can't see it with the blade guard on, so I took mine off. I think they're somewhere here. I don't know. I don't use them. But like I said, please use them if you're just starting out with a table saw. They will save your fingers. Other than that, great table saw. For the price, I'll have all the prices listed down below, as well as the model numbers and everything. But it's a damn good saw for the price. All right, next up is probably one of my favorite things that I've bought in my shop. This has come in handy so many times when sanding, and it's the DustRite Flexiport hose. There's two different ones. This black one actually expands and contracts from 3 feet to all the way up to 12 feet. And I just got this last week. This is your 12-foot hose. Doesn't expand, doesn't contract. It's just 12 feet. The reason I got this flexi one, the one that actually expands up to 12 feet, is so that I didn't have to worry about coiling up the hose whenever I'm not using it. But I did notice that since it expands and contracts, as soon as I turn on my vacuum, the hose pulls back to its home center, or the shop vac. So I'm kind of fighting the force of the vacuum pulling this hose back together, which is why I got this 12-foot one. So this one I keep a little more mobile, like with my sander and all my other little tools that need a hose adapter. The reason that I love this kit is because it comes with attachments that fit on all of your smaller adapters, like a sander, my miter saw, and these are all rubber. So they stretch over the hose adapter and they secure it really tightly. So this one, the one that actually expands and contracts, I just keep on my miter saw at all times now. That way I don't have to worry about moving it, like if I'm sanding and fighting the tension. It just stays there. And now this blue one that's 12 foot, like I said, I use with all of my other like sander, router, anything that's gonna be a little more mobile. These are a little bit tricky to get on at first because they are really rigid. But what I like to do, let me actually bring you guys closer. So if you can see me here, it is a little hard. They are really stiff when they first come out of the box. So it's a little tough to get them on, but that's a good thing. So what I like to do is start from the top and just kind of push my way down, shimmy and get into place. And now it's on there super securely. I don't know if you guys can see that. And this fits on my router. Anything else is gonna be mobile, mostly for sanding. And I don't get any more dust all up in the air. No more sawdust all over me. It gets sucked right into my shop vac. All right, so this is the one that expands all the way up to 12 feet. Let me show you what I mean by fighting the tension and it trying to contract all the way back. So I'm gonna power up my shop vac and you'll see the tension kind of pull. Can you see the sander? You'll see it pull the sander away. And when you're sanding, especially through long periods of time, it gets really annoying having to fight that. So let me show you what I mean. As you can see, I'm fighting that the whole time. This is an old sander, so I don't mind that it dropped, it's okay. Yeah, let me show you the other one. It's a lot better. All right, I got the 12-foot hose attached to the sander now. I'll do the same thing. You'll see that there isn't any movement and it just makes sanding so much more comfortable, especially when I'm doing a bigger piece. Let's power this up. So happy that I bought this. I'm gonna enjoy sanding just a little bit more now. All right, guys, invest in this. I love that it fits over all of my smaller tools. I don't have to worry about dust collection. So I'm very happy with this 12-foot hose that I bought, just so I'm not fighting it with my more mobile tools. And like I said, this one that actually expands and contracts just stays on my miter saw now. And you can see how hard it was to get this guy on. I probably can't even do it standing. I'll probably need it on the bench. It's really rigid at first to get it on, but once it's on there, it's not going anywhere. But over time, this is the one that I've been using longer. You can see how easy that pops on, but it still stays on. Get you some DustRite, some Flexiports. I'll leave links down below. All right, guys, since we were talking about sanding, I'll go over my Dewalt 5-inch random orbital sander. I probably won't recommend this to anybody. It's a powerful sander. It gets the job done nicely, but I feel like I'm constantly fighting it spinning out of control for some reason. I used to have a cheaper Ryobi orbital sander and sold it, but I think that one felt way more comfortable than this Dewalt. So I'm gonna upgrade. Probably looking at Bosch. I'm not too sure yet, but I'm going to upgrade this very soon. So if you're thinking about getting something like this, like I said, I'll leave the link down below. I probably won't recommend it. There's better options out there. And that concludes today's video. Just want to put it out there, I'm not affiliated with any of these brands or any of these products, but these are just things that I've had here in my shop for, like I said, about 2 years. Except for the Flexiport. I just invested in those and 10 out of 10 recommend. Go get you some. Let me know what you guys want to see more of down below in the comments. Say what's up to me on Instagram at ZukoBuilds. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already. I'll see you guys next time.